I'm Edward Otto Zelke, and let's queer up gay culture. Before Stonewall, there was Mattachine, America's first lasting gay rights group. Before the National LGBTQ Task Force, before the Human Rights Campaign, and even before the Stonewall uprising, there was the Mattachine Society. Founded in Los Angeles in 1950, the Mattachine Society became the first enduring gay rights organization in U.S. history, lasting into the 1970s. While not the very first, that distinction belongs to Chicago's Society for Human Rights in 1924. Mattachine built a national movement at a time where being openly gay was dangerous. Its founders included labor organizer Harry Hay, along with Bob Hull, Chuck Rowland, Dale Jennings, Konrad Stevens, James Gruber, and fashion designer Rudi Gernreich. Early on, the group operated in secrecy, supporting mostly gay men and educating them on surviving and resisting post-war repression. Mattachine worked inside the legal system, organizing sit-ins at bars, warned members about police entrapment, and published one magazine, the first widely distributed gay publication. Today, Mattachine's legacy lives on through archives, activism, and LGBTQ history itself. You know, I think that we wouldn't be sitting here at this table today if it wasn't for, you know, organizations like this that came before us. You know, I think about, you know, as someone who's had their career in marketing and communications, the culture changes hearts before policies can change sometimes too. So, you know, it's our voices, it's our stories, it's our history that we have to constantly keep telling. And we have to, you know, make sure that we're shouting it from the rooftops, because really we're the only ones that could tell it and really record it well. So
100%. And tell the future.
Yeah.
Tell the future LGBTQ plus folks that don't know about Stonewall, don't know about Mattachine.
Right.
So Chicago, you know, your stomping grounds, right? How does this story make you feel?
Henry Gruber, who's involved in that organization. Yes, it's incredibly important. But also there was that picture of the march.
Yeah.
And that was Frank Kameny, who was holding that gay is good sign.
Aww.
And that's, yeah, that is one of the true legends of queer history. There's a really great book called The Deviance War by Eric Cervini, where he talks about Mattachine and he talks about what Frank Kameny did. Yes, know your history, because talk to old people. I'm available to talk.
Yeah, I'm like, we need a
I mean,
documentary.
you really, and I've always thought that
More
there should
plays
be,
written, you know, this is
more.
Well, there should be just a movie about the
That's right.
Mattachine Society, or a mini-series, something like that.
I've
never heard of it.
I heard that in Los Angeles because they were trying to make it a historic, for LGBTQ, but they couldn't do it. But I think the steps, like there's these long steps. Am I right, Greg? That there's a long step that they're actually trying to make it more of a historic LGBTQ site.
Well, and I think One Magazine, which was their publication, I think that's the One Archives, which is in Los Angeles.
Right.
I would think like a Paris is Burning style documentary, clips, integrated.
Because there's plenty of footage.
Would be the way to go with it. That would be a great. I'd love.
It's a surprising story. I've never heard of this, and but it just reminds me, you know, this history is especially it's a wonderful thing that we hear, especially locally in the Stonewall National Museum and Archive. I've gone there for many events. I love the things they bring forward. Some things surprise me, things I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
And so this is a great story that I love that we're reporting on, and
I'm so glad that you mentioned Stonewall.
We're lucky
it's
to
so
have it.
important.
We're so lucky to
We're
have
so
it.
lucky.
Yeah,
and
we
how
are.
many times have any of us gone there to get something out historically, right? We haven't. We've been there for an event or because Robert told us to go or whatever it is. You know, we've got that in our backyard of all places. We're not the most LGBTQ plus friendly state. We haven't done incredible things like they did at the Mattachine in LA or Stonewall. We weren't a part of any of that shit here.
And
You
there
know?
aren't a lot of archives. I mean, there's the Stonewall, there's the Gerber Heart in Chicago, there's the one in LA. There are not a lot of these places.
Wow.
So this is a really great place, and that's where Rick did most of his research on his book about gay South Florida.
And I actually did read in the article too, if you're thinking about like if there were any women like in this movement, there were a couple. Yes, and I do know that they had chapters with lesbians too. So, you know, it wasn't just all male dominated back then too. So.
Right.
Well, yeah. It was, but it wasn't.
Well, I mean, but at least we had leaders
Yeah.
that were saying, you know what, we need to have representation, and that stems to a lot of what we're going through still today.
And that's what I was going to say. That it's like kind of reliving history all over again. You know what I mean? Queer history didn't start with Stonewall.
No.
Okay? It started with courage in the shadows, you know, groups like the Mattachine organized when survival itself was radical, right? And when nobody was doing it, you know? So knowing that history matters because rights don't appear, they're built, right?
That's right.
And they're defended and sometimes nearly lost, like right now.
Seriously, terrifying.
Wow. Well, there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.